Okay, so in this project we're going to be building a fictional social network template. I just named it Dobble. It's just the first thing that came to me. Basically it's just going to be the shell, the design template of a social network site. We're not actually going to create the functionality. That would be a different course altogether. But we're going to create the template and we're going to have a few pages. I'm just going to go through them real quick to show you. This is going to be I guess the home page or the main page. You can see we have a header with a horizontal login form. We have the nav bar, and then down here we have a Facebook-like wall where they can post text, images, video, and then it would pop up down here, and users could comment. They could like or follow or share the post, just like any social network. Over here in the sidebar we have an area for friends. This would obviously show your friends' avatars with a link to their profiles. Then down here we have the latest groups, okay, just a list of groups with an image. And that's really it for the main page. If we click on members, that's going to take us to a page with a list of users and some links to add them as a friend or send a message or view their profile. Groups, okay, just a list of groups. Photos, this is basically a little photo gallery, and we're going to be using the Bootstrap modal feature, which is like a pop-up or a light box. If I click on an image, and you'll see as I hover over them we have the tooltips. That's another Bootstrap feature that we'll be implementing. But if we click, we can open up the modal. It's going to give us the image in full size. We can have the title of the image, the description, and you can see that we have these arrows here. We're actually going to use a plugin that'll allow us to kind of treat this like a photo gallery and just scroll through like this. Alright, so that's kind of cool. And then we have our profile page. It's very, very simple. Just your name, a bunch of info here, your avatar, and just an area to post on the profile wall. So that's it. That's all the pages we have. If this was a production site, obviously you would have more. You'd have registrations and things like that. But we're going to kind of keep it simple and get started. So I'm going to create a new folder here, and I'm just going to call it Dobble. And I'm going to just get everything that's in our Bootstrap starter template. And we can open up Index in the browser, and let's also open it up in the text editor, and we'll also open up style.css. Alright, so if we look at the finished product, we have a header above the nav bar. So let's start there. And right under the body tag, I'm going to add a header tag. And inside the header, we need a container. And then inside the container, we're going to have the logo. Okay, so image, and let me just grab the logo. You should have it in your program files. I created it in Photoshop. It's very simple. Basically just a formatted text. What am I doing? Okay, so I think I have it in here. Oh, I also have, you should have a design folder with the logo PSD in it as well. Let me actually bring that over. Whoops, I didn't want to move it. I just want to copy it. Alright, so I'm going to go to the image, and I'm just going to grab all these images. Basically, we have the photo gallery images, the logo, the group's avatar, and the user avatar. Okay, so I'm going to bring all that over. Okay, the logo is called logo PNG. So let's go ahead and say src img / logo.png, and we'll give this a class as well of logo. And then we'll have an inline login form. So we can go to getbootstrap.com, and there's a snippet that we can grab. If we go to CSS forms, we have the inline form right here. Okay, I'm going to just grab this code and just pop that in there. And we're going to just change a few things here. I'm going to get rid of this for attribute. Alright, and we do want the email. So I'm gonna actually get rid of this. Actually, I'm gonna cut this name out, the name field, and place it underneath, right underneath here. Okay, and that's gonna change to password. Change the type as well. Okay, let's see, placeholder for the email. We'll just say enter email, and then for the password, enter password. Alright, and we want to change the text of the button to, let's change that to login. And what else? Let's add the checkbox as well with the remember me. I think we have it. Oh, you know what? Scratch what we just did. Let's grab this. I didn't realize that this was here. Okay, so I'm just gonna paste over the form we just put in. So from here to here. All right. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the checkbox div and I'm going to cut it, and then I want to put it under the sign in because I want it on the line below. Okay, so if we save that, alright, so obviously this doesn't look very good yet. You can see the logo is, you can't even see it because it's white, and it's also below the nav bar. The reason for that is we have the nav bar set to fixed to the top, so we need to get rid of that attribute. So if we go to our nav bar, we want to get rid of this class navbar fixed top, and also we want to change navbar inverse to navbar default to make it the light gray white color. Alright, so if we reload, we should get this. Now the header has a background, not an image, but a gradient. So let's apply that so we can actually see the logo. Alright, so we could actually get rid of the padding top for the body. We only want that if it's going to be fixed, if the nav bar is going to be fixed to the top. So what we want to do is say header. Now I'm going to paste this background in. Okay, so we're using the background image selector, and we're going to set it to linear gradient, and then you want these values. Okay, and that'll give us like a blue gradient. And we want to change the color to white, and I'm going to set a minimum height of 100 pixels, and then just padding top to 25 pixels. Alright, so that gives us our background. Now we need to float this form to the right. Alright, so we could say header form float right, and let's float the logo to the left. We can say header logo float left. Okay, so reload, and there's our header. Actually, one thing I want to do is I want to put a line break so the remember me is under the form. So we want that right after the sign in. There we go. Alright, so let's get rid of this project name because we're using a header, so we don't need the logo in the nav bar. So we want to go and just get rid of this A tag. Alright, and we might as well do the menu. So home is going to go to index.html, then we're going to have a members, which will go to members.html. We will have groups, which will go to groups.html, and we have a couple more. Okay, after groups we have, what do we have? Photos, members, groups, photos, profile. I think that's it. So groups, photos, profile. Okay, so that should give us our nav bar. Okay. So next we look at the finished site. We have two columns. We have one that's one div that's 8 columns wide, another that's 4. So let's go ahead and set that up. So in our section, we're going to have a container. I apologize if I sound a little stuffed up. I actually have a little cold. So we want a row now. And then we want call MD 8. And then we want 4. Alright, now for the wall, it's going to go in the 8 column div. Now we're going to use panels here, so let's go to Get Bootstrap, and we want to go down to, actually we need to go to Components, and then if we go down, you should see a Panels link, and we want to grab the code for this here. We want a panel title and panel content. So I'm going to grab this lower portion. Okay, and we'll just paste that in here. Alright, now the panel title, we'll just call it wall. And then the body, we're going to have another form. So let's go to Get Bootstrap and go to Forms. And we'll just grab this. Okay, we only need a little of this. We're just going to have one field basically. Okay, so let's get rid of this, and the checkbox div. Alright, and we're going to get rid of, actually, yeah, we don't even need the label, so get rid of the label. And then this is just going to be a text area. Okay, keep the class, we can get rid of the ID. Enter email. We want to change that to, I don't know, right on the wall. And then we need a closing text area. And let's just see what that looks like. Alright. So that's what a default panel looks like. I actually want to change the color of the panel heading background. I want it to match the header. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, copy it, and then we want to override the panel heading. Alright, and we also want to make sure the color is white, and we might as well add an important flag on that. Alright, so that's going to change all the panels on our site to this color, or this gradient. So let's take a look here, and you can see that we have these this button group here for text, image, and video. So we need to add that.